Everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Hurt Business Podcast. My name is Ferris Try, and today my guest is Reis Norman. Newman. I practiced this beforehand, fucked it up
No, you're all good.
live. How we doing today, boss?
Good. How are you, bro?
I'm good, man. Just got done a day of training.
Yes, I actually I walked out of training right into my car to do this. So yeah, I just got done with training. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, I appreciate the time today, bro. Talk to me. You mentioned to me in the DMs that you had this Wako national tournament coming up. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah. It's Wako National Kickboxing Championships. They call it nationals for most of the people who are like in the little kickboxing community. Wako stands for World Association Kickboxing Organization. It's one of the biggest bodies for kickboxing, whatever you want to call it. You know how all the government and stuff has to do over the fighting stuff, whatever. But so I don't know if you've heard, but kickboxing just became an Olympic sport, and Wacko would be the representation for it would be the kickboxing team for the Olympics. So this is the national tournament. All the best kickboxers in the country, for the most part, are going to go compete. If you're in the pro division and you win, you get a guaranteed spot on Team USA, which you can go fight overseas, international. They do multiple events throughout the year, World Games, like stuff like that. So really just mostly my goal is to get on that team just so I can get some international experience, so.
So how is it structured? Is it a weight class thing?
Yeah, they do. So they do like C class, which is like very beginners, like 0 to 5 fights. They do B class, which is 5 to 16 fights, and then they do pro and advanced division, which is pros and people with 16 fights and above. Um, you pick your class of where you want to fight at, and then you do pick your weight class. They have different rule sets. They have K1. They have, which is standard kickboxing rules. Knees, spinning technique, spinning back fist, all that. Then they have low kick, which I think is what I'm going to be doing this year. I signed up for low kick because I had a teammate in the same weight class as me who's also in pro division. So we just talked about who wants to do this. And low kick is same what you would think, kicking, punching, all that. Just no spinning techniques, no spinning back fist. And then full contact, which is like the pants kicking fighting. If you've ever seen that, it's like what Stephen Wonderboy used to do.
Okay.
And then they do have all the different weight classes for that. So for each one, like there can be 3 weight classes, 3 different rule sets, and 3 different skill divisions. So it's all kind of like a lot. It's a lot of stuff. If you've ever been to a tournament like that, people fighting everywhere, it's all crazy and stuff. But
Do they break it down by like age, or is it just by like an experience fight level situation?
they do age. So my little brother's gonna be competing. He's gonna be competing in the 132-pound B class bracket for juniors. I believe. I'm not quite sure. I believe he's doing K1. So they do it by age, weight class, skill level, all that stuff. So yeah, it's a big tournament, and it's a pretty big deal to compete and win in that tournament.
Mm. Yeah, man, the Olympic Games, everybody listening definitely knows what that is. So that's definitely a big deal. So it's a 3-day thing. If all goes well, how many times would you fight during those 3 days?
Last year I fought 3 times in 3 days. The hard part really isn't the fighting; it's the cutting weight. Because the way Wako does it, they don't want people really weight bullying or cutting down a whole bunch of weight. So they do weigh-ins every single day to try to keep people more closer to their weight class. So that can be tricky depending on where you're at with weight and all that. So that can suck, but I'd say I could fight probably about 2 to 3 times. Yeah.
Mm. And what weight class are you competing at?
165. So 165 and below.
Mm. That's fun stuff, man. What's the feeling now? You're about what, 2 weeks away, 3 weeks away from it, roughly. What's the feeling like now?
It's this time. So last year it was when I did it. It was my first tournament I ever did, and it was kind of the feeling where you don't really know what to expect. You don't really know like what you're getting yourself into. It's kind of just like, yeah, like let's go fight people. This time around it's a little bit more I'm a little bit more focused, and it's a little bit more surreal just knowing that I've been there before. I was in the lowest skill division. Now I'm in the highest skill division. Me knowing what's on the plate in terms of like if I win or when I win, and just like the opportunities that I could get from it. So it's a little bit more of like a good feeling. I always like to feel like pressure and stuff. So having that like extra pressure, like that feeling of like you win this, like you're gonna be doing something that like a lot of people would like to do or would be able to say like I wish I did this in my life. So I'm really excited, and I can't wait to show people the improvements I've made, especially since last year.
Mm. A year sounds like so long ago, but it's really not. It's really a quick amount of time. So what have you done this past year differently to prepare for this time?
Wako has a very specific rule set compared to like most fights that you'd see, like Muay Thai, MMA. You're looking for damage. You're looking for who's controlling the pace, who's controlling the octagon or ring. Like you look for all these things. And the Wako kickboxing, since it's more of an Olympic style, they really want to focus on points and clean strikes and technique, and it's more of an accumulative score instead of like a you can lose round one, you can lose round two, you can lose all of round three, but if you in the last 15 seconds you spam 8 leg kicks and you land 3 or 4 clean leg kicks and you take the advantage on points, you win. So it's a lot more of a high pace. It's a lot more of understanding what scores, what doesn't score, the what the judges are looking for. So I now that I've competed in it, and my coach is also a Wako coach. He's also a Muay Thai coach, but he's coached a lot of different things. But really understanding the rule set and understanding the job in front of me and thinking of it more as a game and not of just as like I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna knock people out, like I'm gonna try to do the damage and all that. I'm really going in there focused on winning the game and just scoring the points, not really what I normally would come into a fight thinking about.
Mm. Do you have a favorite technique that you're excited to pull out the arsenal?
Um, I have a nasty leg kick that always scores good. So I mean, I'm excited. I'm just excited to fight. I'm always excited to fight. So I'm my main thing that I'm excited about is facing these high level kickboxers. These guys that I don't think I've fought people that are as skilled at one thing yet in my career. So it's going to be a good test, and I can't wait to show that like I belong with that group of people.
Mhm. Nashville, Tennessee. Is
Oh
there
man.
something you're looking forward to for being out there?
Oh yeah. Afterwards, I'm very looking forward to going to Broadway. Last year, on Broadway, we had a really good time. A lot of cool, awesome stuff happened that was for adults only. But it was fun. It was a fun, good time. But this year, I'm gonna be going with um my whole team's coming down with me this year. Last year was just me and one of my teammates who had been competing in Wako for a while now. So this year we got a whole team coming with us. My girlfriend's gonna be there. My mom's gonna be there. It's gonna be like I don't know. It's just gonna be like a big, great family team fight party all week. Just fight everybody and then win and go have fun on Broadway.
Hell yeah, man. Well, best of luck if in a few weeks, man. I'm looking forward to seeing the outcome and hopefully the good results. But take me back, man, to a young Reese. What got you into combat and fighting?
Man, it's actually so crazy because I remember being a young kid and I was into UFC. I was into like fighting and stuff. I mostly played baseball, basketball, normal kid stuff. But I was into fighting and stuff. I used to play UFC, like the game, one with Brock Lesnar on it. I loved Brock Lesnar. I loved Rampage Jackson.
Mm.
But I would always see the fights and I would always be like, I will never do that. That looks terrifying. Why do they want to get hit in the face? And then fast forward to about 10 years or so, um, I was going through like a rough time in my life. I My whole life I'd expected myself to just be an athlete. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna play baseball. Like I'm gonna be a pro baseball player. Like whatever. Like I don't need to do anything else. And then obviously when you plan for one thing and then you either sabotage yourself or things don't work out how you thought, you kind of get left in the dust a little bit with like, what do you want to do? So I had a friend who was into UFC and stuff, and it's funny, he actually fights with me now too. He's competing at Wako in the pro division as well. But we started going to the football field at our old high school and just started like sparring each other, I guess, just like for fun. And then we would go and go and go until we'd get tired, until I would get tired normally. And then that turned into like, let's go to a gym. And then I signed up for a gym, and then I just haven't really looked back since. And ever since then, it was just like I did my first fight in like a couple months, and the feeling was just so addicting and thrilling that I couldn't get enough, and it made me hungrier, and it made me decide that this is what I wanted to do.
And how long ago was this? Did you sign up for that membership?
Um, very, very end of 2020, maybe early 2021, around there. So not really that long ago.
And you took your first fight in Muay Thai, or was it
Yeah.
kickboxing?
My
Muay
first
Thai.
fight was Muay Thai, and I took it after about 2.5, 3 months, I think.
How was that experience for you?
That was so I'm sure people say like, oh, all the time, like everyone always has a plan until they get punched in the face or whatever, like that type of thing. Where I was like walking around telling people like, oh, I'm just gonna knock him out, like do all this stuff, and everyone's kind of just like, oh, like yeah, sure, like sure you will. And then the fight happens, and then that it works. So then I don't know, man. I was just like, well, I knew I could do that, and I feel like most people don't have the ability inside of them to like know they can do something, even if everyone doesn't think that they can, or even if it seems very like unreasonable or like out of reach, you know. So then after that, I was just like, man, like I just beat this 33-year-old dude up in front of a whole gym full of people. Like, what is better than this?
Describe that feeling.
Oh, I remember when it was happening because I was so this is the weird thing. I deal with like pre-fight jitters and nerves just like everyone else. But that specific fight, my first fight, I didn't have any pre-fight nerves or jitters. I was like so confident. I remember not a lot of people at the gym even knew me that well yet. So then that day when I was like chest all puffed out, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna just destroy this dude, and they're all like confused, like where did this kid just come from? Like he's been quiet this whole 3 months, and now he's like about talking about knocking some dude out and like saying all this stuff. And then I just remember like my friends and family were there, and I knocked him down, and I looked at all my friends and family, and they're all cheering, and I'm just like, wow, like I'm really like in here, like in this ring, like doing this in front of people. It's like crazy.
That's such a cool experience, man. Every time you see it, like somebody do it for the first time and that excitement level, it just you can see just how happy it makes every athlete who encounters that. Uh so you took that Muay Thai fight, it went well. You said your chest was pumping. And how did you have like a back to earth moment or was it just a gradual thing?
I would say I definitely had that. That's a great question, actually. I definitely had that back to earth moment in my next fight. So my next fight, I accepted right after my first fight, same promotion. I was like, I'm trying to get right back in there. That was lit. Um, I did not train very well for my second fight. I was training like 3 times a day. I had to cut like 23 pounds, or not 3 times a day, 3 times a week. I was training like 3 times a week. I didn't do any road work. I had to cut a bunch of weight because I didn't take care of my diet. So before my fight, I was warming up, and after like 30 seconds of warming up, I was gassed already. So then I was like, oh shit. Like I knew this was gonna be a problem. They're putting the Mon call on my head, and I'm just thinking in my head, like, I'm never doing this again. There's like way more people there than there was the first time.
Mhm.
Like it's at a different venue. The venue's like no one can even sit down anymore. I'm the first fight of the night, so I'm not even getting the jitters out by like seeing other people fighting, and then I'm like, oh, they're okay. Like it'll be fine after I do it. I go out there, I gas out in 30 seconds against this like tough Mexican boxer kid. I don't know if he still trains or still fights, but he was tough as nails. I cut him right here. I cut him right here. I cut him on his nose. Um, and like we just got in like a knock him down, drag out, like bloody mess war. And I was gassed after 30 seconds. I ended up knocking him out with 5 seconds left. But then after I left the ring, everything was just like spinning and spinning. And they asked me, I was like, oh, are you okay? And I'm just like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I just want to go lay down for some reason so bad. I'm laying down. All my friends and family are like coming up to me in the back. They're like kicking them out. I get up, I throw up, and then I was like, okay, I never want to feel that way that I felt in that fight ever again. So that was like a big wake up call and a big of like I'm not like invincible. I'm not just gonna knock everyone out quick. I was posting on Facebook I was gonna knock him out in one round. I was telling like people at the event I was gonna knock him out in one round. and then I ended up knocking him out with 5 seconds left, and I throw up everywhere. So I was like, oh, that's not very good.
Lesson learned.
Yeah.
So then you took another Muay Thai fight, or did you transition into kickboxing then?
I took one more Muay Thai fight, and I actually did that on 12 days notice. So it was for the same promotion, and then after that's when I did the kickboxing matches.
And how was that transition from Muay Thai to kickboxing?
Um, it was definitely a different because my first kickboxing fight was for Wako, so I didn't quite understand yet the importance of like the pace and the point system and all that. I mean, I still won, so obviously I did well enough, but I would say it was probably a pretty tough transition, especially coming into Muay Thai with only I didn't have any other martial arts experience. So I'm learning this Muay Thai for this period of time, like I'm getting so used to this pace and this like thought process of how you do things, you know. So to completely switch it up was hard but good for me to learn and grow, you know.
Was it once you started to realize, okay, this is different? Was it just like you see those wrists that just snap into place and then they form around your wrist? Do you ever see that? Was it one of
Yeah.
those things that you just, all right, this is what kickboxing is? I can do this and just jump right into it?
Um I would say I've definitely had a lot of moments like that with like martial arts, but I'd say the kickboxing thing was more of like a slow like I learned this, I learned that. Like when I first started fighting Muay Thai, I can't really tell you I was doing Muay Thai when I was fighting. I was more just like going in there and throwing like haymakers and bombs. So
Mm.
like res- longer I practiced kickboxing and like kept learning both styles at the same time, I would get more skill, more technique. I would say I would learned a lot of more proper technique and like timing from kickboxing just with like returning in the higher pace that the Wako rule set has. Like everybody at Wako is literally just like boom, 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 like the whole time back and forth, you know. So it definitely was more of like a slower build up, I think, for me to like learn a different like style, different techniques, and all that.
Mm. That makes a lot of sense, man. And then transitioning into MMA, how was that?
I felt so my the thing with my transition in MMA is I felt the whole time like when I first started Muay Thai, my goal was to do MMA. I just didn't know it was gonna take so long because I wasn't very smart. I thought I was just gonna like come in and practice, and I was just gonna be like, "Yo, like I'm doing MMA now, like I'm doing this fight or some shit like that." I thought it was gonna go like like easy, quick, but once I got into like a real Muay Thai fight and had some fights, I was like, okay, maybe I should, um, tighten my skills up a little bit. You know, go in there. Maybe I don't think that a lot of MMA fighters have like I'm not speaking for all of them. There's obviously MMA fighters with great striking, but a lot of like amateur MMA fighters or just even a lot of MMA fighters in general, they're more of like medium in every area instead of having a specialty that they're good at. And I was just like, I kind of got the mindset of like, you know what? I've already gone this far with Muay Thai and kickboxing. Let me just become a specialist and really hone in on these stand-up skills so that I can be um, just a little bit ahead of these guys when I do come into MMA.
Mhm. In your amateur debut in MMA, did you feel that way in the ring?
Um, my amateur debut for MMA, I fought a guy named Noah Bellini. He's from somewhere around here in Iowa or something. He's actually 3-1 when I fought him. So he was well, I mean not supposed. He is a good fighter. Um, but he was one of the guys that had hype around the area, and they were saying like, "Oh, Noah's this, Noah's that." I'm an 0-0 MMA fighter coming through. So obviously I was supposed to lose. I wasn't supposed to do good. But I just had this like feeling in my head. I'm like, like this guy doesn't have more fights than me. If you really look at it, he doesn't have more fights than me. And I doubt that his striking is as good as mine. Is he a good striker? Yeah, I think he's definitely a better than average MMA striker for sure. But when it came down to it, I knew that I would have a little bit of an edge, if not a giant advantage. You know what I mean?
And how did that go for you? How did the night turn out?
It was actually funny. I didn't have the performance I really thought I was gonna have. He had great movement and we also fought in a promotion called True Rev. I don't know if you've ever heard of it or not. It's a smaller MMA promotion out here in Iowa, but they're known for having the biggest cage. And he had good movement, so he was circling and circling around that cage, and I really couldn't land any punches together. So I had to really focus on my leg kicks. And then once I hurt his leg, I ended up taking him down, which was a surprise for me and for everybody that came to watch, because I was literally joking with my girlfriend before the fight, like, oh, like, what if I took him down? And she was like, yeah, right. Like, so it wasn't what I expected, but it also showed me too that I can trust my instincts, and that I do have good understanding of where the fight is going, and to take things that's given to me and not try to force things down. Because what I was really doing at first, I hadn't fought in a while. I hadn't fought in like a good 5 months, I'd say. And my last fight before that was I had a really nasty elbow finish at the TBA Muay Thai Classic, which is a big tournament for for Muay Thai. I don't know if you ever heard of it or not, but so I was really in that like get a good finish like type of mentality, and I was really trying to force those punches in there. So it was a good fight to show me that I can relax and like just count on my skills to get the job done instead of trying to force and be more powerful and overbearing on my opponents.
Mm. How do you approach the mental aspect of fighting?
I feel like that's honestly my strongest aspect of my game is my mentality. I I don't really understand how I could describe it to somebody or how I could help somebody tap into it, but during fight camp and during like time of like fight week and like the day of the fight and stuff, I feel like all that happens is my confidence just grows like a graph chart, just grows and grows and grows. And by the time I'm in there about to make that walk, or I'm in there getting my hands wrapped, I feel almost like unbeatable. I look at my opponents and I just feel like they don't have what I have inside of me to keep going through anything and to just get the job done like at any cost. And I almost feel like I don't want to say like yeah, I would say like a supervillain. Like I'm coming here to like ruin their day and like show them why they're not as good as me. And just like I don't know, it also just drives me too. Like nobody wants to not be the best at something. Like I'm sure you see other people's podcasts, and not that it's in like a jealousy type of way, but you're probably like I want to do this like be better than them or whatever the case may be. Like you always want to be the best.
For
So
sure.
I especially when I get in the cage, I just get this feeling of like contentment, and I get really comfortable with the fact that I will do anything to get this win. And sometimes that's even a little bit nerve-wracking, knowing that if it came down to it, I don't think I would ever stop. And I mean, I don't know that that's like the almost if that's the only thing that scares me, then I'm happy. But it's just like almost like a level of like I feel untouchable. And I know that's not always the case. Every fight has a different feeling, but I'd say for the most part, I just feel so good all the time when I'm really about to fight, and I know that it's my will versus his will.
That's so fascinating, man. Is that something you think you were just born with, or is that something that you worked on, or you've been through some things that toughened you up in the uh,
Mm, I played sports my whole life. I played baseball, basketball, football, ran track, played soccer. I played every sport, and I've always been the most competitive person I know. So I think some of it comes with like that experience of like playing sports and knowing how hard you have to work to be what you want to be, and always knowing that the hard work does pay off. And a lot of my confidence does have to do with my training, and I do the work, and then I realize like if I did the work, like there's nothing to worry about. It's gonna show. The training never lies. Like I don't believe that a lot of my opponents have had as good as training as me. They don't have as good training partners. They don't have as good as coaches, strength and conditioning. I just feel like everything that I have is almost to like a pro level at the point that I'm at right now with like my training schedule, my coaches, my strength and conditioning, like everything. So I just feel like if I put in the work, what is there to be worried about? You know what I mean?
mm, that's said beautifully. Uh, what's the most ridiculous trash talk an opponent has ever said to you?
Um, I haven't dealt with really too much trash talk. I feel like I'm normally the trash talker. Not really because I want to talk shit. I just get bored and like it's just funny to me. Like, why not? We're gonna fight either way. I would say the most ridiculous thing was in my first fight. I looked on my opponent's Facebook page, and they were like, oh, it wasn't even really him talking shit. It was mostly his friends, but they were like, oh, don't be scared, but he works at Dick's Sporting Goods because that's where I worked at the time, and
Mm.
it said it on my Facebook bio. And then they were like, oh, you better practice this kick, and they sent like a gif of Bobby Hill kicking his karate professor in the nuts. Which is funny because he said he was like, yeah, I'm practicing it, and he actually did kick me in the nuts. I know it wasn't on purpose, but it was just funny to look back, like, oh, like he was saying he was gonna do it on Facebook, like as a joke, but then actually did. So
Yeah.
I think that's really the only trash talk I've dealt with. Other than that, all my opponents have been pretty respectful. I've had some trash talk with like some people that I didn't end up fighting, but that's neither here or there.
Do you think it'll affect your approach to the fight in any way if somebody decides to start talking a little bit too much shit?
I've always had the same thought process with like people like trying to like intimidate or like talk shit. No matter what you're trying to intimidate me about or talk shit about, most likely we're gonna have to do whatever we're gonna have to do either way. So the talking or the like looks don't really affect me. Like before my last fight, I got in the cage and I could tell my opponent. Um, I don't know if he was shook by like my size or whatever, but I remember when we weighed in, he was like, "Oh, what'd you weigh in at?" And like said it kind of surprised. Like maybe he thought I was big, like he didn't expect me to be so tall or something. Which I'm only 6 foot. But then we got in the cage and he's looking at me, and I know he's probably just in his zone too. But he's just looking at me with his face, and I can just tell he's trying to like maybe like wear me down a little bit or maybe scare me a little bit. And I just look at him and I have my little fingers in the cage and I'm like crouched down. I look at him, I'm just like, let's go, and like I give him a little smile. Say like, I don't know, I just feel like it's all fun and games and like we're gonna fight each other either way. Like obviously we don't hate each other, we don't even know each other. So you can say whatever you want. I'll say whatever I want. I would honestly prefer my opponents to talk more shit. It would be a little bit more fun. But
Keep you entertained throughout the process.
yeah, get more Instagram followers, whatever we would get from that. I don't care. I just like talking shit and I like being a little bit out there sometimes.
Bro, that's a great attribute to have in this sport, man. If you got the mouthpiece on you, boy, oh boy, those followers just gonna climb.
Yeah, and I love Conor McGregor, so sometimes, I mean, not that I'm just trying to be like Conor McGregor or anything, but sometimes it's like, I remember when I first started, I would go over to the little liquor store by my gym. If it was like a Friday and I have a fight coming up, I would get a bottle of Proper 12, and then I would drink some, and then I would want to be on Facebook, like looking up for fighters that I could talk shit to. And it's just like I don't know, like why not? Like let's talk some shit. We all like to hit each other in the face and like kick each other in the face. Why not?
Just talking instead of being so physical all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
If you could choose one location to fight in for the rest of your career, which city, state would that be?
Hmm. Damn.
Country? It could be you got the whole globe to choose from here.
The whole globe. I think I would say, man, different places for different reasons. Put me in the place where we can fit the most people at. It doesn't matter to me. If we can fit the most people in there, if we can fit the most people in Spokane, Washington, or some random place, put me there. I want wherever the most people are going to be at, and it's going to be the loudest.
Mhm. Probably one of those soccer arenas or something like that.
Yeah. That probably would be where they could fit the most people at. Actually.
Yeah, dude, those arenas are so like 88,000 or something insane like that.
Yeah, I know. That's ridiculous.
Imagine that. Like, think about how loud that would be.
Oh man,
88,000 people.
especially if you're like a hometown, like if Patty Pimblett walked out for like whatever that soccer arena is over there by him, like just imagine the feeling that he gets, like knowing these are all like people like from his like area, like coming to like see him and stuff. Like it's just crazy to me.
Yeah, bro. It would light up the whole world, man. Uh Dream fight against another fighter, past, present. It could be any discipline, martial art that you've competed in.
Can I do two?
Sure.
Okay, so dream fight number one dream fight is Conor McGregor. 155, 170. I don't care. Give me the Conor McGregor that knocked out Jose Aldo.
Hmm.
That's who I'd want to fight. Probably 155 because I don't want to be. I don't think he could go up to 170 back then. But and then for Muay Thai, I would want to fight Liam Harrison if he was my size.
Hmm.
I think that would be a fun fight. He's my favorite Thai fighter. So
Two fun options there. The build up to you versus Connor would be fun. The shit talking there would be
hell yeah.
at a peak. Celebrity or public figure dream fight.
Michelle Obama probably.
Why? Why Michelle?
Because she took away my good school lunches when I was a kid, bro. I went to school one year and they only gave me like 5 chicken nuggets and I said, "Can I get more?" And they said no. It was like the new rules. And I ever since then I've just had a grudge against Michelle Obama. It has nothing else to do with like her political stance or anything, just literally just the school lunches is my issue.
And they blamed it on Michelle Obama that they were too stingy with their chicken nuggets.
Yeah. No, literally that's what they said. And I remember Michelle Obama was doing that whole like make the school lunches healthy campaign and all that. And ever since then, school lunches just went downhill. So I would have to say her for sure.
Okay, fair enough. If you had to choose one song that you'd walk out to forever and you can never change it for as long as you fought, what song would that be?
Oh man. Um I would say so this isn't a very popular song. I don't think a lot of people really listen to it, but there's this music video on YouTube, right? Kobe Bryant's top 10 highlights. And there's a Lil Wayne song in the background. Like Lil Wayne made a song about Kobe Bryant. I watched that highlight video ever since I was a little kid before all of my games or sporting events. It's just his top 10 plays with the Lil Wayne Kobe song. So I think I would have to do that. I would have to do that song.
Hell yeah. And you speak about Kobe. I seen that you got the Kobe signature
Yeah.
tattooed
Oh, wrong side. Wrong side.
on the chest. I see the Instagram pictures with the number 8 jersey. Is Kobe somebody who's special to you?
Man, Kobe's like my biggest role model growing up. Like I loved Kobe Bryant so much. Like even like before any sporting event, basketball, football, baseball, basketball, like golf, it doesn't matter. I'm watching Kobe Bryant highlights to get turned up. Like I'm watching Kobe Bryant speeches, everything about. I watched every single game. Like I was a Bulls fan growing up, but I was a kid watching every Lakers game just to watch Kobe. Like just his work ethic and his mentality, and like almost like his like selfishness to become like the best. You know what I mean? It's like just so beautiful to me and so like inspiring, and everything about like Kobe Bryant just like embodies what I want to like push out into this world. I feel like
Hmm. Yeah, man.
it's actually crazy. The day that he died, I was um I was at the YMCA in the parking lot with a basketball in my lap, about to go play basketball, talking about whatever. My dad texts me and says like, "Oh, Kobe Bryant got in a helicopter crash, but it might be fake because TMZ reported it." I don't know. I don't know with like all that internet stuff. Things always seem like they could be fake or not, but it really like I didn't even go in and play basketball that day. Like that, I always thought like, oh, people are like weird if they let like celebrities die or like whatever like affect them so much. But like I got it. Like I understand like when someone that inspires you like passes away, like how that actually feels. Like it's so crazy to me. And like I I've just always been such a huge Kobe Bryant fan. Like Kobe Bryant was my wallpaper on Facebook when I was like 13 years old. Like since I was 20, since now, like to this day.
He was such a positive influence for so many people, man. So many people. And for me, I'm a Celtics fan, so I've always had the Lakers Celtics rivalry. So Kobe's given me some long nights in my early
Oh yeah,
years, in the playoffs. But like all in all, that what that dude stood for was only great things. And it was a tragedy whenever he passed away.
yeah. Rest
Uh,
in peace to him, his daughter, and all those people. Yeah, it was crazy. Like I can't even to this day, I can't believe how did that happen? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like you thought at first, I definitely thought it was fake. Like it took until like everybody was reacting on Twitter and it was like on the news and all these different outlets were posting it. And it was like, all right, this actually might be legit.
Yeah, it was
And I
definitely
was
a sad day. I actually got this tattoo the next morning. I didn't even wait. I got this
wow,
tattoo the next morning.
wow. And was that like, did you always want a Kobe tattoo, or once that happened,
Yeah,
is
I
what
did
you
always
need.
want to. So you know that picture of him standing like facing the crowd with his arms
Yeah,
out. I'm
yeah.
gonna get that tattooed on my torso right here eventually.
Oh, shit.
But yeah, I always wanted a Kobe tattoo, and then he passed, and I was like, man, like what can I get right now, like just so I can just have that with me all the time, you know? I was like, fuck it, his signature, the number 8. I don't know why I'm so attached to the number 8 Kobe, but that's my favorite Kobe. But I liked all Kobe's. I watched all Kobe's. I watched his last game, like cried. And I was in 8th grade, crying in my room watching his last game. Like it's been a long ride with this Kobe
Yeah,
fandom, and it's like real sad how everything went down.
yeah, man. But to lighten it a little, his last game, 66 on or 60 on his way out was some G
Yeah,
shit right there. I was
crazy.
like,
And he
that's
hit the game-winning shot.
yeah. Like if Kobe's gonna go out in any way, it's like that, dropping 60, game
Like a
winning.
G.
Yeah, yeah. That game was awesome and a great career and an awesome life. But on the tattoo subject, I noticed you had a new one behind the ear. Can you tell us a little bit about
Oh,
that one?
so I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's supposed to be a bird's head. The story behind this tattoo is simply just after my fight, me and my mom were in New Orleans and we drank our breakfast. So we decided to go get matching tattoos. We ended up not getting matching tattoos because we didn't find one that we both mutually liked. And I saw this bird and I just liked it. I thought the head of the bird was like kind of creepy and weird, and I just asked him to put it on my neck. So I mean, good decisions, bad decisions, all the same after it's done because on there forever. I don't regret it at all. I don't mind the tattoo. I like it, but it's just funny. Just
Hell
get
yeah.
drunk and my grandma was my. I never imagined my grandma would be there while I'm getting my first like neck or face tattoo. Like she's sitting there just like with like oh boy, like you guys are really gonna do this. My mom got a neck tattoo too, and she's like afterwards she was like oh no, like what did I do?
Yeah, she regretted it.
Yeah, and now she's been working on trying to get it fixed. So now she has like the neck tattoo's even bigger, and there's like a tattoo here now. It's like
Uh,
oh, it's just like she's gone down a dark path.
yeah, she's gonna keep growing and growing. What's the tattoo goals for you like? Is this the early stages of like a full body piece?
Yeah, basically, I'm trying to get all tatted out so that when I fight people, I look as cool and as scary as possible.
Oh man, oh man. Any inspos, like any guys out there, you see their pieces, you're like, that's fucking dope. I need some of that.
Definitely. Okay. This probably sounds like whatever, but I think Conor McGregor's little back tattoo with the double strand is sick. I think it's sick that he has his name tattooed on his stomach because, I mean, if you get your name tattooed on your stomach or your back, you're either probably one of two people. You're either very confident or you're probably just like some douchebag. So I don't know. I just like that he's both, and I just think it's hilarious and it looks kind of cool. So
Hell
I
yeah.
actually just did get a tattoo the other day. I don't know if you've seen it or not. On my leg, I got a whole leg sleeve started up.
Okay, I think I did notice it. This was like super recent, right?
Yeah, I got some gravestones, and it's not quite done yet. But the quote on the closest, biggest gravestone is "I'll sleep when I'm dead."
Mm.
One of my baseball coaches told me that when I was a kid, and I've always just been obsessed with that quote because I that's something that Kobe used to say, and I've never slept much. I ended up getting diagnosed with insomnia in like my junior year of high school, so it kind of like made sense why I haven't been sleeping much. But I've never been much of a sleeper, just like sleep a couple hours a night and just wake up and grind like
Mm.
throughout the day. So I just thought, you know what, fuck it, get a cemetery with the quote on it. Looks cool and it actually has some meaning to it. So
Such a dope tattoo, man. I remember looking at it for the first time. Like, imagine standing on the other side of the ring as you and seeing that, and then that the last thing you see before lights out. Like you're just getting
oh
kicked in the
yeah.
face, and you just see you'll sleep. You
Yeah.
sleep better. Oh man, that'd be so humiliating. But a dope piece, man. I'm excited to see the rest of the tattoos. I'm excited to see how the Wacko National Championships go for you, the future, how it shapes up. Close out with this, Reese. Tell us your goals for 2023.
All right. So my goals for 2023, my first and foremost goal is to get on that Team USA and go fight some people overseas. My second goal, I don't know if you've ever heard of Freedom Muay Thai
Yeah,
promotion.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
My second goal is I'm coming for a freedom belt. I
Mm.
want a freedom belt so bad. Those belts are so sexy, and I think the promotion is just amazing. The way that he promotes these fighters and like puts these fighters out there and has them fighting in cool places. Like the guy who runs it just seems amazing. I would say my goal after that is I'm coming for an MMA belt for sure.
Hell yeah. My man, I appreciate the time. Let the people know where to find you.
Follow me on Instagram at the Lord Reis Newman, Facebook Reis Newman. I think Facebook, Instagram. I'm on TikTok too, but my TikTok has not been doing well, so I'm not gonna shout that one out.
Yeah, TikTok is such a fucking up and down thing, dude. Don't even
Yeah.
don't even sweat it. Oh, and also, where's the Lord Reese merch? Is there any place anybody can find it? If
I'm actually all out of Lord Reis merch right now. I'm actually have my designer making up a new logo for me. I'm gonna be getting all new shirts, all hoodies, all stuff like that here soon. So if any of you guys follow me on Instagram, you'll see me post updates about it. I'm always good about posting updates about new stuff. So feel free to just message me and hit me up. I'll take a pre-order or whatever. Like I'll have it done, get it out to you guys, ship it. Doesn't matter.
oh yeah, we'll consider this my order. I would like an XL, please.
I'll just send you something, bro, for real.
My man,
Hell
appreciate the
yeah.
time, brother. Be good. We'll talk soon.